Blaster Master on the NES is a good game. Blaster Master Zero, the remastered version of Blaster Master, which is this tiny little icon here-ish. Just trust me, it's blurry, but it's there. It should be a great game then, right? I mean, it's had some years to percolate. It's got several more bits, 8 compared to more than 8. I don't know. Things can be measured in bits anymore. So that was my hope with Blaster Master Zero, is that the thin slideshow in the original that barely passes for an establishing shot, it would be completely, overpassed. It would be completely a place where cars drive over other cars with this new version. But is it? I don't know. It's been a while since I've gone back and actually looked at the original slideshow version of the Blaster Master game. So that's what I'm going to do right now. I'm going to check that out, and then I'm going to compare it to the new intro story segment. This will be fun. Let's go. Okay. Boy is tapping on glass of frog. Pet frog, I assume. Pet frog jumps out somehow because boy is very irresponsible. Boy runs to his backyard. Pause for a second. Boy runs to his backyard, which apparently contains a radioactive safe, I think, that he didn't know about, I guess. And he kind of in a barn. This is like a country kid barn. I used to live out in the country, and I don't remember radioactive safes being out there, but I also am a sample set of one, so perhaps there's plenty of those out there. Let's keep going. That frog has got some height on him as well, so let's keep going. He drinks from the safe, I think, and gets much bigger very quickly, and then jumps down a hole that our hero didn't know existed. Is a very big hole that our hero didn't know existed. He's had this frog for a while, I understand, but I don't buy that there is such an emotional connection that he would be willing to jump down a mysterious hole. There's other frogs in the pond, dude. Find yourself a different frog. But, bonus, he did find this giant super tank thing, which I assume he will turn into the authorities because this seems like kind of a sketchy thing to just have underneath your barn. So that's probably where this story is going to end, right? He's going to turn into the cops. We'll see how that goes. No, he's going to suit up, of course, logically suit up in a suit that fits him perfectly, which is amazing. And that's the story. That's the Master Blaster story. It's backwards. I meant to do that. The story is very backwards. It's not good, so I'll hold the cartridge backwards. The Master Blaster story is not very good, but again, it's an NES game. It's not supposed to be good. So jump forward many years to Master Blaster Zero, a reimagining, updated kind of version of the story that I've been playing a little bit of. Let's jump into this story. Again, blurry. Hey, it's not as blurry now, it's blurry. The light makes it blurry. Let's jump into this and see how these stories compare, shall we? Let's do that right now. A much wider establishing shot this time. We know we're in planet Earth. In the near future on planet Earth, many kinds of creatures once coexisted on this verdant planet. Pause. I'm a little concerned that they have to remind us that many creatures coexisted on this verdant planet. That doesn't seem very near in the future to me. I'm hoping that's a very distant future where people don't realize that at one point there were a lot of creatures living on the Earth, but we'll keep going. But after countless wars and untold environmental destruction, the planet plunged into an ice age. Humanity was left with no choice but to migrate en masse underground. Those bunkers paid off. All right. Sure. That's cheaper than flying out to space on rocket ships. So when the Ice Age finally came to an end, humans began developing methods while they were living underground to one day restore their planet to the lush green landscape it once was. Noble. I agree with that pursuit. During this time, a large mysterious comet fell to the Earth, as opposed to a large non-mysterious comet. All the comets are mysterious to some degree, right? I think. I'm not a space scientist. However, the progress of restoring their lost ecosystem was coming along. That's a nice way of putting that. And humanity was eventually able to live on the surface again. Yes. Several hundred years have passed since then. Oh, gosh. Oh, here's our guy. Okay. Enter a youth, I'm assuming it's going to say. He's reaching for his frog I see there. It looks like this time the frog's in the wild, right? So this explains maybe a little bit of the mysterious aspect of the frog, which I appreciate that. Let's keep going. Enter a young man named Jason Frudnick, known for being a genius in the field of robotic engineering. Then why is he so enamored by this frog? Maybe it's a robot frog. Robot frog, go. One day, he came upon a creature he had never seen before. Okay, he was very much immersed in the world of robotic engineering because he doesn't recognize a frog. Ah! No records of this creature existed. No records outside of this one clipboard, I assume. With his interest in the mysterious creature piqued... Oh, wait. Pause. That isn't a frog. It has a red circle on its belly. And some very scientific, science fiction-y bands of gold and stuff on his arm. So, okay, not a frog. My fault. I apologize, Jason Frudnick. Jason made it Fred and began to observe it closely. Good thing, okay. But after some time had passed, Fred escaped. Oh, as frog creatures are wont to do. Ooh, this is a much shinier hole. Jason gave chase, and he observed Fred jump into a mysterious hole. See, I like this. Pause. I like this because this does seem to indicate the hole is temporary. It's not just a hole. It's a sort of more of a portal, I think. I like that. It's getting a little bit deeper. Yep, that appeared seemingly out of nowhere. Could have just read. That would have helped. He was rather astonished by this phenomenon he witnessed, as he should be. A robotics engineer is not a magic engineer. But Jason followed Fred down the same hole. Again, don't do that, Jason. Don't do that. But if you didn't, we wouldn't have a game. So do that, please, Jason. He eventually found himself in a cave deep underground. That's where he discovered a large vehicle. Okay. Ooh, a little parallax scrolling there. That's dramatic. Almost as if this vehicle with the name Sophia the Third on the side was inviting him in. The door to the cockpit opened up. In order to bring Fred back, Jason hopped into Sophia the Third and set out. Okay, if he immediately followed this frog or not frog creature into this hole, like very quickly followed him down into this hole, I don't think he's going to need a tank to find this frog. It should not have gotten far. A few hops. Now, granted, this frog has some height. It has some strong legs. We learned that in the previous story. But the frog shouldn't be that far, okay? You don't need this tank. That's overkill. But to be fair, if I saw a giant tank in a cave underground, probably get a jump in it. Little did he know, the strange phenomena were only just getting started. Well played, Blaster Master Zero. I much prefer the later story. It feels a little bit more complete. Although it's still very much full of plot holes, of course. It's not a great literature, and I don't think it's supposed to be. But I much prefer the later story. I appreciate a little bit more mystery, and rather than some implied mystery or just what was perceived as laziness, honestly, with the first story in Blaster Master. And so far, also, the game itself I'm liking much more than the original Blaster Master. This one is hard as solid balls. This one is quite a bit easier, and I am of a certain age, and I have been playing games long enough that I know what I like and know what I don't like, and what I like is an easy game. I enjoy an easy game that I can beat in just a few hours. Maybe I'm alone on that. Tell me in the comments below if you've played either one of these two games and what you thought of these games. And also, tell me how you think of the different stories and all that kind of stuff. I'd appreciate just knowing. Any comment really would do. I would appreciate any comment at all. Any sort of validation that shows that people actually watch these videos and get some sort of entertainment value out of them is great news to me. And I would really appreciate knowing about that. So please give this video a like if you can. Tell some friends about it. Share it. Post it on all those Master Blaster forums that I know you visit and that I know exist, probably. And keep watching. Subscribe. That'd be great. Thanks. Bye.